You'd have probably heard a lot of people talk about the importance of communication in a relationship, whether it is your partner, your father, girlfriend, or brother, sibling, whoever it is. We have heard our parents tell us how important it is for us to establish good communication with whoever it is that we are in a relationship with. But let me ask you this question. Are you having good communication between yourself and your teenage child? And by good communication, I mean not just you being able to talk to them, but are your teenage children being able to share what they are feeling with you? My guess is that most of you parents would say, yes, my son or my daughter shares something sometimes, but not always. And and I know the exact reason why it is. It is because teenage children are not very comfortable in sharing what they are feeling with their parents, let alone their sibling or anyone else who is slightly or who's elder to them. And parents often fail at establishing a good communication line with their teenage children, as a result of which, obviously, they have no clue what's happening in their teenage child's life. So, in this video, I'm just going to share uh, 5 tips that you can probably follow to establish good communication bridge with your teenage children, so that they listen to you, they share what they're feeling with you, and you have a very good two-way conversation. I have my laptop right here, so I might frequently look down, so please don't mind. So, just about an year ago, I was doing my certificate in English language teaching to adults at the International House in London. And the instructor there was teaching us the importance of how it is important for my students who are learning English to talk more than me, the instructor or the English teacher. So the teacher talk time has to be much significantly less than the student talk time. Similarly, in this case, when you are the parent and you have a teenage child, I would say that the parent's talk time should be much less than the children's talk time. This is because you want your child, you want your teenage child to share what they are feeling. Look, at this age, when they are a teenager, thousands of emotions, they're going through thousands of emotions, millions of thoughts come in their mind every single day. And obviously, at with the amount of speed at which they think and the amount of volume that, they think, it is important for them to kind of just let it out, let people know what they're feeling. And obviously they have got friends, but then they also have parents with whom they can share their feelings. So when you are talking to your children, don't just start, don't just start telling your own story when you were a child or when you were a teenager. Don't just start telling stories like how obedient a teenager you were when you were at that age, or the stories of heroism that you have of your own childhood. Don't share those stories. Let them talk. Give them that space, give them that time to let them open up and share what they are feeling. This would actually help you in establishing that, communication bridge. They would be more comfortable in sharing their thoughts with you, the parent. The second point is use more questions rather than explaining or reprimanding your children. And by that I mean you don't necessarily have to always tell your child that, hey, I think what you did there was wrong. You should not have done that because no, you can't do it. Or you should probably change the way you're thinking right now. That's not right. No. Don't just, question them at every single thought that they have, at every single step of their life. No. Let them freely think what they are thinking and let them share what they are thinking with you. It is really crucial for you to know what they are feeling. It is crucial for you to know what they are thinking. So Rather than reprimanding them, or rather than scolding them, or rather than shouting or screaming at them, let them talk. Let them share what they're feeling. Okay, you felt like this. For instance, they say, yeah, one of my friends just received an iPhone as a birthday gift. Okay, how do you feel about it? I don't know. I don't know. Your child might not be able to share what they're feeling. Obviously, they do feel, and you probably know it. When their friend gets something, they want it too. You might or might not agree with that parent, and you might or might not want to give them the thing that their parent has, that the other child's parent has given it to them. So it's okay for you to disagree uh, with them, but then ask them the question. Okay, you want an iPhone? Yes, I do want an iPhone. Okay, tell me 5 reasons that you want an iPhone for. Like, what are the 5 uses that you're going to put it to when you get an iPhone? Just kind of grill them, just, kind of take one question and ask them, and then they answer something, and then you ask something from that. Just try to understand what they are thinking. Obviously, this conversation could go somewhere where you feel, okay, well, buddy, here's what I think. I think that you are being driven by peer pressure. Just because your friend has an iPhone, you're asking for an iPhone. When in reality, you don't actually need it because you have all the resources that an iPhone would give you. So you don't need an iPhone, you just want it because your friend has it, right? So you can arrive at that point with the conversation that you have with them, but not by simply saying, suppose if your child comes to you and says, Dad, my friend got an iPhone, can I buy one as well? No, you can't. You don't want to, you shouldn't be using an iPhone, sorry. You can't get an iPhone right now. That's not the way. You just can't tell them off like this. They're teenagers. They probably think that they know more about life, they know more about the world than you do. And I'm not saying that that's the right way of thinking, but then that's just how it is. That's just how they think. So it's important for you to accept what they are thinking, how they are thinking, more importantly, and then kind of, make a conversation around it. Ask them, okay, but you know what? I just don't think that this is right. Get you arrive at that point where you say what you are thinking is not acceptable, or it's not right. You're headed the wrong direction. Arrive at that point, deduce that point rather than simply putting it out there. um yeah, so before you kind of get into the explanation mode that no, you shouldn't be doing this because of these reasons, you shouldn't be doing that because I think that's wrong, just kind of, talk to them about it. Try to understand what they're feeling, and then you have a conversation around it. You probably include your partner in the conversation as well. So you just kind of have the conversation, have the organic conversation flowing between you and your child. And then you just guide him or her to the point that, hey, I think you need to rethink what you're thinking right now. Okay? Uh, the third point is you must live in their own world. Um, by that okay, by that I don't mean that you should think about or recall your own childhood, because obviously the childhood that you had was completely different, or is completely different to the childhood that your child is having. So that it's two different things. So I wouldn't recommend that you go down your own, memory lane and dig up memories of your childhood. No, I wouldn't say that you should do it. But I would say that you should put yourself in their shoes and understand what they're feeling. For instance, you see that your child is using phone for 6 hours, 7 hours constantly. They're just sitting at that one particular spot on the bed, and they're constantly glued to the iPhone or to the mobile phone. And you feel, okay, wow, that's crazy. That's outrageous. I'm going to take his phone away, and you just rush into the room. You snatch the phone away, and you say you're not getting the phone for another 24 hours. Okay, your child was using the phone for the past 6 hours, and you felt that's wrong, and you're right. That is wrong, but your method of taking the phone away is not right. Because what you need to understand is that your child is on the phone because they feel they need to keep in touch with the world. because they feel that their friends are constantly playing PUBG or constantly playing mobile games or doing video chatting or doing something crazy online or browsing something on Instagram or Facebook. And they feel that they need to be a part of that gang. They need to be present with their friends. Remember, at this age, what their friends tell them matters more as compared to what their parents tell them. So if your child listens to your friend more than they listen to you, yeah, it's completely fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it is at this age. So I wouldn't say that you should rush in and just kind of rain on your child and say, "Oh, this is absolutely horrendous. How could you do this?" No, just talk to them about it. Like, hey, I think you are just constantly glued to your mobile phone, which is not right. Look into their eyes, and with all the seriousness that you can probably muster, or that you can probably gather from your experience or anything, with all the seriousness, look into their eyes and say, I think it's not right. This is not done. I don't accept this. You can't be sitting on your phone for 6 hours straight. You can't be doing this for 4 hours straight. You can't be playing on your PlayStation for more than 2 hours. No, it's not done. Sorry, that's not happening. So be firm about it, but don't be like, no, you shouldn't do this. That's that's not the way. That's not the way that you should be dealing with your teenager, because the more you raise your voice, the more angry, the more furious you are, the more they'll feel, yeah, I think he's getting into my space, so please back off. Okay, the fourth point is look out for when they're receptive. This is very crucial as well. You must not, capitalize on every single moment and start explaining something to your kids, or start teaching them something, or start reprimanding them. You must look out for moments when they are more receptive. Now, the thing with the teenager brain is that there are thousands of thoughts that are going through their mind at a single moment, and they are absolutely lost in their own world. So whenever you tell them something, the chances are that they are not going to listen to it. When they don't listen to it, they don't understand it. When they don't understand it, they hardly care. They hardly bother. So in order for your children to understand what you're telling them, look out for a time when they are very responsive, very receptive. For instance, you're sitting at the dinner table, your partner and your child, and you're having a conversation with your partner about something, and then your child just adds a point, or kind of puts out their opinion, what they think, or something like that, and is very attentive to what you are saying. That is the moment when they are very receptive. But that doesn't mean that you should go all out and say, okay, well, let's chuck this conversation away. Let's talk about this. What you did that day was wrong. No. Let the conversation finish. When your child is saying something, let them talk about it. Let them share their side of things. Let them share what they have understood of the world, right? And then after that, once that conversation naturally gets over, then you say, hey, I need to talk to you about this. We need to reconsider what you're doing. I don't think it's right. Again, look them straight into the eyes with all the seriousness. Tell them that what they are doing is not right, or what they are doing is right. If something that they are doing is right, then just praise them and say, yeah, I think that's wonderful. But look out for the moments when they're the most receptive, and that is when your child will respond to you. Okay, so the last point is sometimes let them have their way. And this is very crucial. I just remember when you were a child, you had your own demands. You wanted something, out of the store. You wanted that one additional chocolate, or that packet of crisps, or anything like that. You wanted something, and your parents said, okay, well, we're going to let you do this time. So sometimes let them have their way. If they want to play on their PlayStation for 30 more minutes, okay, fine. But only 30 minutes. If they say 30 minutes, then let's have an agreement. After 30 minutes, you will turn it off on your own. I don't have to come inside the room and remind you that you must turn off your PlayStation. After 30 minutes, it should be turned off. Have that agreement with them. talk to them about it. Like, okay, I'm not going to remind you. 30 more minutes, and then just get out from there. Just go out. Just go back. Just go back to doing what you were doing, and let them play for 30 more minutes. Let them sleep for 10 more minutes if they say sometimes. Sometimes just let them have their way. Look, they are teenagers, right? They feel that what they are doing is right, and they don't give a I wouldn't say that they just don't care what their parents are saying, but more often than not, they would say, yeah, well, I just think that this is how it should be done. I just think that kids my age should be watching television and should be on their mobile phone and playing PlayStation or PUBG or whatever it is. That's just what they think, and they think it's right. In their mind, playing PUBG for 5 hours is okay. You know, uh, browsing Instagram for 6 or 7 hours is okay in their mind. We know it's wrong, but in their mind, it's right. And at that age, they're only focusing what their mind is telling them. Yeah, do this, and they will do it. So sometimes let them have their way. Sometimes just let them feel that, yeah, I have my space. I can do what I want. Not always, but sometimes my parents would let me. So give them that power, give them that space, but have an agreement as well. Okay, we have given you this time, but this won't happen every single time, right? Again, with all seriousness, look into their eyes. This won't happen every single time. Understood? That's just establishing the fact that, okay, I'm giving you that space. I'm giving you that power to exercise, you know, or I'm giving you that power that you can fulfill your desires at this particular point. Because you're a kid, you're growing up, you have thousands of emotions, and you have your own way of thinking. But then, hey, it's not going to happen every single time, all right? We have some limits and we must observe them. So give them that lesson as well, and yeah, they would probably respect that. So yeah, to conclude, I would just say that in order to be able to establish a good communication channel with your kids, with your teenage kids, it's really important that you give them that space that they need, or that they feel that they have a right on. Kids at this age can feel, I have the right to my space. So give them that space. Obviously, just don't haunt them, don't hound on them, but yes, be omnipresent. Make sure that they feel that you know what they're up to, that they're scared of you. They should be scared of you before they do anything bad, right? Anything that they shouldn't be doing. The first thing that should come into their heads is, what is my dad going to think about it? My mom is going to be really very upset if I do this. That should come into their head. If they don't listen to it, if they don't listen to that voice, it's fine. They are teenagers. They're supposed to do it. They're supposed to ignore what their parents are saying. But they should have that voice in their head. And the only way they can have that voice in their head is when you have a good communication channel established. I hope you found this information. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be posting more videos of this about parenting for teenagers regularly. And yeah, this was my first video, and it turned out to be about 19 minutes long. Not too bad for the first video. Obviously, I'm going to get better as I produce more videos and more regularly. But I hope you found it useful. Thank you.